All right, Shalom Israel. Welcome again to another I.S.U.P.K Wednesday night law class. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Kayad one from I.S.U.P.K Jamaica, under commanding General YAHANNA. I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Barakatham to my brothers. Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh to my sisters. All right, so tonight's class, all right, let me first say that our Wednesday night class is our law class where we teach the children of Israel the laws concerning the Bible. You understand that the Most High gave to our people. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which are the 12 lost tribes of Israel. Lost because today nobody knows who we are. We definitely don't know who we are. But the Bible did say that we would lose our heritage. You understand? So tonight's class is all about teaching us the laws of the Most High. All right, but we're going to talk about the Pope's death. You understand? Pope Francis dead, and him dead on Easter Monday. We don't know if it was planned or it could be the Most High mocking the Christian church, because Easter, what them say, Jesus dead on Good Friday and rose on Easter Sunday or Easter Monday. That's all? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Easter Sunday. Right? Let's see the Pope rise from the dead. You know what I mean? Let's see Pope Francis rise from the dead. If it's a stunt, bring the stunt forward. Make him rise from the dead. You know what I'm saying? And we know him now going to rise from the dead. See? Because he's not Christ, nor is he a disciple of Christ. All right? So it could be the Most High mocking the Christian church, you know what I mean? Which would be a confirmation to our people that Christianity is not the way to go. You understand? And to top it all off, we're going to jump into some history, you know what I mean, of how the Roman Catholic Church was the reason why we were enslaved. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, who are the children of Israel. See? We were enslaved because of the order, the edict of a particular pope during the I think it's the 1600. I'll read it when I finish. See? But this order went out through the Catholic Church. Through the church, through Christianity. Christianity enslaved Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. I read a book, what's the name of the book again? Lost Tribes of the Promised Land. I think that's the book, right? Where our Hispanic brothers were tormented by who? Guess who? Christians. Where our Hispanic brothers and sisters were the native, you know what I mean, the Arawaks, the Tainos of these Americas, where their life was a living hell because of the Catholics, Christians. They were tortured, brutally, inhumanely treated. You understand? By Christians. You understand? So if you want to know what Christianity is, just look at the history of oppression when it comes to our people. Just look at the history, you know what I mean? The footprint of Christianity, and you will really know what Christianity is. You understand? And as I said, it was a pope who ordered our slavery. So the question is, why is our people still in the Christian church? How is it that the founder of Christianity ordered your slavery and you're a Christian today? Singing and clapping in the church like a, you know what I mean? Like a buffoon. When you are in oppression because Christianity wanted you as slave. Christianity was the spirit behind white people, the drive behind white people to enslave Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Not the Bible, you know. Our people tend to confuse the two. Confuse Christianity with the Bible, because Christianity not uphold, let me not use the word uphold, because uphold in the Bible would mean that you uphold the things in the Bible. You see? But Christianity hold up the Bible. as if they follow it when they do not. And we're going to show you that as well. Remember to tap up the screen, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're on. Right? So watch this now. We're going to jump to this article. Zane, this is the medium.com. Let me share it on the screen over there on Facebook. Am I sharing it already? Or let me just add it to the screen. Yeah. So this says, Pope Nicholas VI, Slakia the fifth, used the church to start the disgraceful slave trade. Let me read that again. Pope Nicholas V used the church to start, keyword, start the disgraceful slave trade. Now, which slave trade is this talking about? This is talking about the transatlantic slave trade that included blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians being shipped off into slavery. You understand? It was the Catholic Church that did it. There was no, well, you did have Protestant churches at this time. But as me I try to tell you, Christianity, this religion that our people have been gripped by, was started by the Roman Catholic, the Romans. You understand? After they analyzed our King YAHANNA Mashiach, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, who was a black man, them hang him on a cross or on a tree. See? Like what them do, every black man. The message of Christ was now spreading. They hijacked that message, analyze Christ's people, then cause us to flee to all, you know what I mean, all different parts of the world, predominantly in Africa. We fled into Africa in 70 AD. We have to read that. You understand? Millions of us. Then now them start control the narrative as to what Christ started. And of course, they had access to our records, which today the world call the Bible. And them start spread Christianity using the guise that the Bible condone what they're teaching when it does not. And the Bible has nothing at all to do with Christianity. But the Bible is the records of our people, of the 12 lost tribes of Israel. Fast forward to the transatlantic slave trade era. Now we have this Pope, who is also a Roman. You know what I mean? He now orders for our people, God's people, Christ's people, to be enslaved. And the Africans were ready to help, because we were not native to the land of Africa. And the Africans did help him because they are friends. The Africans and the Romans and the oppressor. Let me just say the oppressor, because there are many oppressors. There's not just the Romans, but the Spanish, the English, you understand, who are just different sect of white people who came from that Roman Empire. See? Them a friend. And the Africans, them want out of them land. And they had help and support. You understand? And a motive. See? We're going to read this article now. It said, in 1452, so it was 1452, see? Pope Nicholas V charged Alfonso of Portugal with the Christian duty to enslave any non-Christians. The Pope's Act would be the first recorded international edict. This was an international edict, meaning it was not just in his realm or within Europe. It was international. And we know that the Pope, we know that the Roman Catholic Church is of Rome or the Vatican. But in this time, they were commanding the Portuguese. They were commanding the Spanish. They were commanding the English to some extent. Well, in this time, you know what I mean, they wouldn't be controlling the English because during that time, black people was ruling England. See? But they call the shots when it comes to white people, the Roman Catholic Church. See? So this Pope commanded Alfonso of Portugal with the Christian duty to enslave any non-Christians. So anybody who did not accept Christianity, predominantly that would have been us because we were the children of Israel. You couldn't bring Christian for the most part. For the most part, our people went off into other religions so that we could trade. You understand? But we knew who we were. And we know that we weren't Christians. So that would be predominantly us. Of course, they went to war with the Muslims too, but we don't have any records of the Muslims being, you know what I mean, being mass enslaved. There's no records of that. As a matter of fact, the Muslims were also enslavers. Then, let me continue reading. The Pope Act would be the first recorded international edict to literally grant a Christian nation the right to promote, enforce, and heavily profit from slave trading. So this was caused by the Christian church. I will tell you over and over again. Zane, we tell you over and over again that, look, you can't be a Christian because Christianity is responsible for your slavery. Christianity was the force behind white people, the encouragement behind white people to enslave God's people. You understand? Meanwhile, they claim to uphold the word of God. What they did was enslave God's people. So you can't be a Christian. Being a Christian is being a traitor. Being a Christian means no, you forfeit to the oppressor. You willingly become a slave of this oppressor. That is what a Christian is. Because what I'm reading now is the Pope in 1452 ordered blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians slavery. The Pope is the head of all Christianity. So what your pastor will tell you now? What your pastor will say now? Theme church different? Let me read a little more of this. And we will show you that your pastor church is not different. See? So it said, so it's a Pope, it's a decades later, Pope Alexander, so this is decades later, Pope Alexander VI beckoned Christian monarchs, so it wasn't just Pope Nicholas, Pope Alexander. See? Pope Alexander VI beckoned Christian monarchs to conquer native populations in the name of the Catholic Church, upholding his predecessors' tradition to enslave non-Christians in whatever land they call home. You understand? So the Christian monarchs, kings and queens and so forth, who ruled over white people, this Pope beckoned them, he asked them, you understand, him insists that they go and enslave native population wherever they can find them, wherever they live. Go and enslave them. So the transatlantic slave trade was a direct order from the Catholic Church, from white people's spiritual leader. The transatlantic slave trade would have not happened without the order coming from the Christian Church. We would have not been enslaved if it was not for the Christian edict coming from the Catholic Church. So how is black people Christian today? How is our people Christian today? I mean, you can't blame them. Them don't know. This was forced through the sword to our people. This was forced. Our people never, you know what I mean, come to the realization that Christianity is quote unquote God's religion. Our people was massacred and forced to accept Christianity. You understand? Our people was forced to accept Christianity through the sword and through intimidation. And eventually, we accepted it willingly. When Christianity has nothing at all to do with God's word. And your Christian church is no different from the Catholic church. I will prove that now. See? All right. So, on April the 5th and April the 12th, Slakia, we kept the Passover. Why did we keep the Passover? The I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA. For those who might not know what the Passover is, the Passover was a feast that the Most High gave to the children of Israel, his people, his chosen people. And the beginning of this feast was when the Most High freed us out of Egypt. When he destroyed the Egyptian, when the death angel passed over our homes and went and destroyed the Egyptians. That's where the word Passover come from. See? And the Most High said we should do this forever. Always celebrate this as a remembrance that he freed us out of Egypt. It was a memorial. You understand? If the Christian church was all about the Bible, why did they change the Passover to Easter? Let me read. See? So this says, the Council of Nicaea ruling on Easter day in 325 AD. Right? What is the most important day in the Christian year? Ask the average person in the United States and you will probably hear Christmas. But in the early century of the church, the day of resurrection, also known as Pesach, was more important. Easter, the Christian Passover. From its earliest day, the church annually celebrated the anniversary of Jesus' resurrection, often called the holiday that Christian holiday, the Christian Passover. The Greek name for Passover was Pesach. So Easter is sometimes called Pesach. Easter is an English word. Even while the apostles were alive, Christians moved their day of worship to Sunday because Christ had risen from the grave on Sunday. So this is the propaganda where they must spread about the Christian church and so forth. Right? All right, let's jump down to the Council of Nicaea. During the church's first 3 centuries, it was frequently under persecution and there was no attempt to standardize Christian festival. However, when Constantine became emperor and Christianity was no longer illegal, it was possible to consider the date of Easter more carefully. One of the purposes of the Council of Nicaea in 325 was the settling that date. Constantine did not want Easter to be celebrated on the Jewish Passover. Why say the Jewish Passover? Because the Jews celebrated the Passover. This was given to the Jews. You understand? And these oppressors now wanted to go off into their own thing, Christianity. You understand? He said it was a Christian duty to have nothing in common with the murderers of the Lord. So that was, and this is part of the Christian doctrine, that the Israelites unalive our king. See, when it was the leaders, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian leaders, with the help of the Romans, who unalive our king, not the regular people. They riled up the regular people in ignorance to support them, but they were the one who accused Christ, our leaders, the rich amongst us, the ones who sold out to the Romans because they never want Christ come take power from them because Christ was becoming popular. You understand? And then sold him to the oppressor. innocently. So the lie where them are telling a Christianity now is that the Jews, we killed Christ. Well, we never killed Christ. It was our corrupt leaders who sell him out because they feared that him would come take over leadership from them and them would lose them place amongst the Romans. You understand? So Christianity sold us this lie for us to hate the Jews. And in other words, hate ourselves. You understand? Not knowing that we are the Jews because of slavery. So Christianity sells us this lie that the Jews killed Christ, that the Israelites killed Christ. See? So that in your mind, you know, have nothing at all with being a Jew. So when we come and tell you that we are the real Jews, you don't want to hear that because you think the Jews killed Christ. When all you have to do is read the Bible, and you will see who killed Christ. All you have to do is read the Bible and you'll see that it's the Romans and our corrupt leaders who killed Christ. You understand? Let me continue reading. The Council of Nicaea accordingly required the feast of resurrection to be celebrated on a Sunday and never on the day of the Jewish Passover. Easter was to be on the Sunday after the first full moon, following the spring equinox. This meant that the date of Easter would always fall between March the 22nd and April the 25th. Today, March the 22nd is the earliest date on which Easter can fall. You understand? So them choose Easter, which, you know what I mean, we brought out in another class that Easter is just, you know what I mean, it goes back to Ishtar and the Queen of Heaven. You know what I mean? The word Easter is English for Ishtar. You understand? That was what they substituted the Lord's Passover for, because these heathens had nothing to do with the Passover. And like this, Constantine said, he don't have nothing to do with this quote-unquote Jewish Passover. See? So them swap it out for Easter. So now Christianity celebrate Easter. Or let me say, the Roman Catholic Church decided on Easter. Now ask yourself this. Do your church celebrate Easter? If your church celebrate Easter, that means them follow the Roman Catholic Church. Well, the Roman Catholic Church ordered our slavery. Now, this Council of Nicaea, see, was a council to change a lot of things that the Bible said to fit the Romans' pagan belief system. You understand? Now they make Jesus or Yahawashi into Hercules, a man born from God and a virgin, when the Bible said Joseph was Jesus' father. You understand? So they mix that. So Christ become Hercules, this demigod, born from a virgin who God impregnates, and thus you get the immaculate conception that Jesus don't have an earthly father and Mary never have sex. If your church believe that, that come from the Roman Catholic Church. The Roman Catholic Church ordered for us to be enslaved. Just remember that, you know. May I try to show you, say, your church follow the custom of the Roman Catholic Church, who was the authority that told people to enslave us. So that are two things two strikes that your church have. See? So you can't come tell me, say, yo, your church is different and your church wouldn't do that. Your church is still Christianity. The Roman Catholic Church is the foundation of Christianity. See? And your church still believe what the Roman Catholic Church teach. See? Another thing that the Roman Catholic Church did was change the Sabbath from the 7th day to the 1st day. If your church do that, they must follow the Roman Catholic Church. Again, the Roman Catholic Church ordered our slavery. didn't have something to do with it, wasn't in negotiation to eradicate it or prevent it. They are the reason why people enslaved us. They wanted our slavery. You understand? Another thing that the Roman Catholic Church changed at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, right, was to make Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit into a Trinity. Teaching that God and that are one. So you have the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. If your church believes that, your church is following the doctrine of the church, the Roman Catholic Church, that ordered our slavery. See? If your church teach that Jesus is God himself, your church is following the doctrine of the authority, the Roman Catholic Church, that ordered our slavery. So if your church teach none of them things I we just say a while ago, your church guilty, because your church is following in the footsteps of those who are responsible for slavery. And you can't go around it. There's no going around it. Christianity is the reason why we got enslaved. Christianity was the driving force behind white people. The spiritual and moral authority driving white people to enslave blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. If you're a Christian, you're a traitor. I don't know if I say it in other way. If you are a Christian, you are a traitor and an enemy to God, because Christianity enslaved God's people. When Christopher Columbus was wiping out the Hispanics and the Native Indians, he was spreading Christianity. When we were being whipped and beaten over here for work on the sugar plantation them and in the cotton fields, we were being beaten in the name of Christianity, and Christianity was being taught to us and pushed on us. If you're a Christian, you're a willing slave and a traitor to your people. I can't say it enough. Why are you a Christian? Because you are a traitor. Because you would have been the same person to sell out Jesus Christ. The people who murdered Yahushua Mashiach or Jesus Christ is the ones that form Christianity. They are the ones that started this religion, and they eventually, after unaliving Christ, destroyed Christ's homeland, Jerusalem, massacred his people when they fled into other lands, Africa, Europe, and so forth. Then gather them up and enslave them, and they are now over here in North, Central, and South America. The real Israelites, they are now over here because the people who created Christianity enslaved them. I can't help you no further than that. See? If your church at any point in time thought that the white Jesus was Christ and show him in any pamphlet like the Seventh-day Adventist Church like to do, and the Jehovah Witness like to do, see? Show him as being a white man that comes from the Roman Catholic Church. They were the ones that paint that image, knowing that the Bible says that Jesus was a black man. The Bible says Jesus has hair like old, like this angel where you see right here. But white hair, white woolly hair. Skin of bronze, like where you see the angel right as so have. See? That is how Christ look. That's what the Bible said. Your church teach that the Bible don't describe Christ. That came from the Roman Catholic Church. You understand? That came from the Roman Catholic Church. So if your church at any point in time thought that Jesus was a white man, that them get that from the Roman Catholic Church, and remember, the Roman Catholic Church was the authority that demanded that you were enslaved. And nobody couldn't go around the order there because them set the order. You were enslaved because of Christianity. Christianity enslaved you. And today you full up the Christian church. And you believe the doctrine of Christianity that poison your mind against who you are. So when we tell you that we are the real Jews, you know what you say? The Jews killed Jesus. You know, have nothing to do with the Jew being a Jew, when that was a lie created by the Roman Catholic Church. You understand? If anybody have questions in the chat, please leave it in the chat. You know what I mean? Somebody you Diane, it came from the pit of hell. Somebody named Maroon Emperor L.A. Lewis 7. L.A. Lewis that? Him say 777. All right, big up yourself, L.A. Lewis. We might have a discussion with you one day too, you know, about the Maroon thing. See? Feel free to send us an invite. You know what I mean? If you want to join the live, we have a discussion. All right. All right. Me not see no comments so far, really. You know what I mean? Okay. So him say Christianity, I'm talking. Yeah, man. A lie from the pit of hell, man. Christianity are the tool that them use to keep us in the dark. You understand? And because our people, you know what I mean, being cut off from them heritage, not knowing who we are, we're buying to Christianity, thinking that this is where God, you know what I mean, rests. When God hates Christianity, and God hoped that we would leave out of the Christian church. You understand? God hoped that we would leave out of the Christian church and come back to our real nationality as the 12 lost tribes of Israel, his chosen people. You understand? All right, so let me discuss. I'm going to discuss a little bit about, you know what I mean, this white Jesus. May I skip around a bit. Slack here. See? Now, back to the white Jesus. All right, so the white Jesus was the son of Pope Alexander the 5th. Slack here. I think it was the 6th, you know. This same Pope Alexander probably either him son, him father, or him. My apologies. See? But Pope Alexander, it might be this one, the 6th of Rome. Yeah, somebody said the 6th. Yeah. So this one, the same one we order with slavery. Jesus. All right. So the same Pope. See? Me go confirm that. I want me done. It has slipped me right now. See? That same Pope, his son, Serge Borgia, because they were the Borgia family. You understand? His son, which was a LGBT, see, a rapist, an unaliver, see, somebody who had sex with him, one sister, a vile individual, see, was who this Pope painted to be Jesus Christ. And that was what was worship inside of the Christian church. The same Pope the same Pope, I'm going to double check, Zane, be the one that ordered our slavery. You understand? And now you will understand why he would have given a white Jesus. Because what? We will always tell you, Christianity is white supremacy. Do we always tell you that? That Christianity is white supremacy? Why else would they take the black Jesus and put him to the back and give an image of a white Jesus, the image of a vile man. Why would they do that? Because Christianity is white supremacy. And you being the black people who they enslaved, they wouldn't want you to believe that the greatest man to walk the face of the earth was YAHANNA Mashiach, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. A black man was a black man like you. You can imagine the sense of self-esteem boost that would give black people. But instead, what we do, we join the Christian church, bow down to the white Jesus, and that deflate with self-esteem. That make we hate each other. Because if you believe that your slave master is God, you will hate your people like how the slave master hate you. You will look down upon your people. Just like how the slave master looked down upon you. You will see your people through the slave master's eye. Because now you have come to accept that your slave master who tortured you and unalived you is God. That is witchcraft. That is sorcery. And that is what Christianity put on our people. And it's time now for, you know what I mean, we free ourselves from that. Let me see what that person has said. All right, Slacker, Ersker Senior said, thanks for the education of people. So true. Yeah, man, big up yourself, Ersker. See? So Christianity has been this long witchcraft that has been on our people when the truth is already was in front of our eye the whole time. You understand? The Bible in front of we read it, and when we read it, it does something to us. We can relate to it. When it comes to the Psalms, we can relate to it. Proverbs, we relate to it. Even the situation where Christ himself went through, we can relate to it. But because Christianity hijack, Zane, because Christianity hijack the Bible, we disassociate ourselves with it. Anybody will have any rebellious spirit in them from the oppressor. You understand? Anybody who wants to rebel against the oppressor will automatically reject the Bible because Christianity is tied to it. See? Me don't have your number, brother. Call you out. Me don't have your number. See? So anybody who become conscious about them roots and want to learn black history would automatically reject the Bible because Christianity is vile religion. Okay, that's what I mean. All right. Hey, Shalom, Wagwan. God. What you say? God. Let me stop you a second. Well, the word Christian in the Bible, you know, but them use it as a derogatory term. It's almost like calling somebody a Marxist, which is try to degrade them. So everybody who follow Christ, them call him Christian to degrade them. Another thing, me have to say thank you for your kind words, brother, but you know what I mean? Me have to give full credit to the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, Yana, for opening up my eyes. You understand? The knowledge I know my own. You understand? This is what I'm learning at the I.S.U.P.K and the commanding general, Yana. And one more thing what I say to you is don't sleep on the fact that King James was really a black man, because a lot of lies come out of the Roman Catholic Church. You know what I mean? Not just the fact that Jesus was a black man and then changed him to white, but them whitewash a lot of people who used to rule in Europe too. And King James, on our understanding, who translated the Bible, was a black man, and them spread propaganda saying him a LGBT and him a this and him a that. For disgrace him and discredit him. You understand? But go ahead.
Now, when you say King James, say like King Charles and Prince Charles, we're not talking about King James the First. We're talking about King James the Second. King James the First, my lad, was a maroon man, darkish, brownish color, and there's nothing as a black man. That's one of the first thing to know. The stealing or the thieving of culture is the biggest theft, identity theft. You understand?
Right. Gone.
You can't go down court and escape from prison. But if you do mail fraud or identity theft in America, you're gone straight to prison. You can't escape prison, but you can kill and shoot people and kill him. And it depends how much money you have. Or if it fit them agenda, you escape. But once you go mail fraud or identity theft, you're gone to prison straight. That's how the government them money for passport. No passport is yours. So what am I saying on a fundamental level now? So when we say King James, we're not talking about King James the First. Because I remember saying America and England and the whole of the country is officially owned by us. That's why you see when we carry up the Nyan from maroon documents, you notice how we are the common person can open up government office in any country. We do not pay tax in America with our ID them, and we do not pay tax in England, and we're seizing millions of dollars worth of land, even as I'm here talking to you. So what you have to do now, my friend, now, and what I like about it now, you're giving them a thing called, you're opening up their pineal glands, you're playing with their chakras, but a lot of the people have still not open. The reason why I came on your program now is to pull a crowd to you, to give you a bigger fan base, because I'm seeing here now, you know, people follow me like crazy. So, but when we hear the reincarnated gods, like yourself, because he's a reincarnated God. God. You understand? You're not a human being. Human beings are primitive, Homo sapiens. So you're one of an anarchist, the king dreads. So you're one of us. You understand? So that's why I come on your program to grant to the audience, as well as you're granting me also audience. So it is vice versa here. You understand? So two gods is here talking. I'm just an elder God for you. You understand? My age and with an experience, but you're a God. I'm 50 and now. You're about 20, you're 30 much, 20 much.
They're young youth.
So you're one of the young guys. So me have to give you my 50 years with the knowledge of me get, and I'm also ex-Freemason too. So I'm deep. I can drink water to my nose. I can hold fire in my hand. I can send any spirit in any country for anyone, and I can tell everything what is up to your accurate. You can Google and see my show. You understand? So I'm no one to play with. That's what you said. No CIA fuck with me and nobody. You understand?
We know. Go ahead.
People pay to send spirit on people as well as people pay to take a spirit of people. So you have to go back now to your Shanti history, ancient antiquity, because Voodoo now, otherwise known as Dandu, then a broken out called Hindu, is the oldest spirituality religion for the planet. Then after that now, we started the thing on the Ethiopian Coptic Church, and then after the Coptic Church now, they broke off and the Jewish, aka Archangel, them stole the spiritual here, so now, so Roman Catholic now is a religion and the thing that did the most damage to us. You understand? And then after that, now the brainwash weed to start with the most damage to weed. So, Brenda now, they're not even fever. Try it now. Check out that who the prison get enough with. We have one more that prison get. We have one more that poetry. We have kill ourselves. So I am not afraid of any Caucasian man right now or Chinese man. Who am I scared of is our people. Check out every time one of our reincarnated gods get assassinated or assassination of them. Who them sent to come do it? Who killed Marcus Garvey? Who John Marcus Garvey? Because Marcus Garvey was John. And then tell lies him in England. And they can't find no hospital. Who killed Malcolm X? Otherwise, have the CIA will give the last pit shot. You understand? When they don't play the balcony. Who said go stab up Martin Luther when Martin Luther come out with the new money? Our people. They were the one fear for killing now. Then what happened now? Then them finish off Martin Luther. I have a dream come to an end. So these things are what we do because we study a thing called the archive. So when the show is done now, and once if you have your Maroon sovereign documents now, I will send you some books, my lord, where trust me, they're gonna fucking scared of you. And then if you forgot now, open up a celestial beings now, my lord, because as we tell you, so you don't know what to fuck with. But I don't think you know your powers yet. No, that's when they say Freemason go around and we choose and we look for the reincarnated concept. Yes, and like when Beyonce was born with the tree of a girl.
All right. All right. When we say to you still though, you know what I mean? The power where we work with is the most type power. A lot of things where you say we disagree with, you know what I mean? We primarily go by the Bible. But we can have a discussion. I don't know if you're willing, you know what I mean, for, you know what I mean, on an official day, come on the program. You know what I mean? We have a show on Fridays called Breakdown Podcast. You know what I mean? And we can have a discussion. You know what I mean? Because me know a lot about you, brother. And you know what I mean? There are things that we agree on, but for the most part, we disagree. You see, and that is not from a perspective of disrespect, but you know what I mean? But no, because in idea you're my brother, you're an Israelite like myself, yeah. So you know what I mean? The oppressor and the other nations, them are our enemy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The European ideology of William syndrome and the Evelyn Rothschild syndrome, what is spread at the school still after they use church now. The church capture them, the woman them, politics capture the man them, and they use the schooling system to capture the youth. So we're doing a thing called theological discussion now. So we're in a theological discussion. So you do know it's a theological discussion, right?
Right, God.
Yeah, so we're in a God discussion right now. So nothing is wrong, as Peter said. What we come with now is over 52 years worth of experience and knowledge. So when you find you buck up on a God now, who actually can hold fire in my hand, which if you say you follow me, you say I can hold fire in my hand. You look up on a God again now, who can drink water, drink more. So if you say you follow me now, you can cook me 20,000.
No man, hey, believe me when I tell you. We know L.A. Lewis, man. And we know everything where you claim and thing. And you know what I mean? We know everything about L.A. Lewis. So, yeah.
So what I know, you don't know everything in my lad. You don't know about the half yet. So I'm going to open my book to you.
All right, here we go on. And that's why I tell you, say, we might have to arrange a thing there, a future discussion, because I try one class this, it will end in a. Me understand, but hear me I say, man. may I say we need to have an official, you know what I mean, discussion because we have protocols we'll follow and the class are going to finish like in the next 5 minutes. So we don't want to have to cut the conversation. We want to have a conversation where we can talk as long as we want. You understand?
Yeah, but what you want to know, my lord, what you have to learn to do now, my lord, be a proton. So we're on the show now, and you're getting information, and the people is getting information. What they would get if you alone the point, would get if me alone the point now, and then different from that now. I like to talk to people like yourself now, because what they do now, it give me a thing called challenges now. So I can get now to know what mind frame you are, and you can get to know what mind frame I am. Because I want, you know.
And that is very important. That is very important. So here, no mean to cut you, brother, but this is what I would want you to understand about we are the I.S.U.P.K and the Command in General, you honor the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and everything we do is by protocol. You understand? And them thing that we don't go around, none at all. See? So you have to find out, say, when we do certain things, it's not because boy Ray, but it's because of protocol. So like tonight is a class, and the class are going to end shortly. So we can't go around it. We can give a little extension, but the class still have to stop. But as me say,
you know, there's two different laws and two different protocols. And that's why I'm teaching this in case you never see me again or you never hear from me again. There's a protocol of the poor and the feeble and the captured mind. And there's protocols of the bajillion years now, who is also called the 1%ers. So now, if you want to be a part of the 1%ers, you breach protocol when it needs to be breached, because you're not going to breach it when it don't need to be breached. If you notice, the codes are going up. So in everything that you're in, my Lord, you're there to reach the masses. If you're doing spirituality, you're not there to reach the masses. It's a fleeing illusion, my Lord, you're pursuing what you'll never attain. If you're doing anything in education or sales or marketing, if you're not reaching the masses, you're just going to be by yourself, silent, mean, consent, my Lord. So in everything that you do, my Lord, is to reach the masses, that you can teach the people. So I bounce upon your channel, and I'm saying I'm going to give this man a strength. So, but I'm not trying to act like said the Almighty, which I am one of them, but some people don't have on that level. So all the content that has ever came back on the planet always come back in a flesh. From Yahshua, from El Shaddai, from Tetragrammaton, Nayan Kepong, all came back in flesh. So it's for
ask a lyrical, big up yourself.
Yes, it is for you now to open your binary plans and your chakras, my Lord, and know that you're once a God. So I am not in the position to, because remember, you know, people have to pay me like $20,000 to come on any show at all. So when I jump on your show free of cost, my Lord, and I'm disciplined because I'm not putting a show. But there's a level to this thing. Ask anyone, just for me to all out of that, I'm just going to give you a lesson, because you say no, any loose, but that don't you can do it. Ask anyone who really know me. Just for me to talk to you, I charge $600 per consultation. So when I am on your program giving you weapons that is going to save you, my Lord, and also telling you that you need your sovereign document that your Donald Trump is telling all of you people in America saying who don't need to get sovereignitized, and you people still have a thing called citizenship, walking up and down with ability, and still walk up and down with a thing called birth paper, ability, and don't know it. And anytime, no matter how the second or Batman and our bad man, when the feds running, I don't know, with 20 at CIA with I.P.O. rifle, no matter how the sound you're preaching and teach, you will be arrested or you'll be kidnapped. But once you have your sovereign documents, my Lord, which you see, I am telling you about the sovereign documents, they cannot touch you, my Lord. That's why I say, no virtually came back out of the Moorish society of Marcus Garvey, and he was trying to do something for them to capture Marcus Garvey and advise him virtually. So, but think of yourself, my Lord, I'll take my phone number.
Just send me it in a private message, because I don't want you let out your number publicly. I don't think that would be, unless you want to. Unless you want to.
We are the gods.
Okay.
So we are not the millionaires
Okay.
People to give them money, then they can look at my grant thing. So we grant people millions of dollars. So that's why I tell you, you don't really know. You probably hear about Canadians, but you don't know the Maroon from. So my other number is 876 77 3459 So just step down them two numbers. The one of them I'm office number you can call and get the secretary, and she will put it through to me. And that other one knows my WhatsApp number. One's of 35 card. So not that 35 card, but say send your number now, so I'm going to put a VIP list for me. I'm going to give it that number now when nobody have.
77. Hold on, let me catch that. 776.
No, 773
4594. All right. And the next one?
669.
Yeah. 669.
3330. 669 3330.
All right.
Yeah, man, and before we go, just in closing, my lord, you are the descendant of the Anunnakis. Yes, and your skin is not black. Stop calling yourself black from today, my lord. We found that out 40 years ago. The word black, my lord, was invented by Pope Constantine, you understand, and then was promoted by the Willing syndrome in the school and in the church. You understand? So once you call yourself black, my lord, you call yourself a dead entity. As we said, close it. Have you ever spelled black yet? Spell black for the first. Spell black.
BLACK.
All right. Take up the B fight now. What do you get? See, now the phone recording.
Oh, luck. All right. Well, when we use the word black, we don't use it for describe us, for say we are black, but so people identify who we are talking about. We are the people who them call black people. And we tend to use that for separate ourselves from certain people as well. So people know specifically who we are talking about. As me said, though, LA, we kind of differ in some. I think you should have do some research as to who I.S.U.P.K and a command in general, YAHANNA is. If you tell one lie, why the amount of lie when we count, where you just so the amount of 50,000 USD you have to send me. I don't know, you probably go broke. All right, we're gonna do that, man. But you get the word lack, but as me say,
lack of knowledge, lack of education, lack of your own goal, lack of your own diamond, lack of self-discipline, lack of unity for each other, lack of all things like the lack of and as the teller said, I'm a Freemason and I study a thing called voodoo, Hindu, witchcraft. So now, my lord, when we're in the classes, my lord, and I'm going to send you the books, my lord, you understand? The word be, my lord, is the biggest casting word in the history of spells. I be with you, be gone, be away, peace off. And then now, my lord, when you black off your eye, my lord, you're blind. Black off your mouth, my lord, you cannot chat. Black off your nose, my lord, you cannot breathe. Black off your ears, my lord, you cannot hear. Black off the house, my lord. So you see that everything that is with black, my lord, is a dead entity. So when they say the Pope of Rome give us the word black people, we can't spell on ourselves. That's why we are the greatest, but yet still we are the scum of the planet.
All right. We can ask you a question. I don't mean for cut you though. All right. So I've been following the Maroon movement recently, and I noticed that Chief Curry is saying that he's trying to mix the Maroon with the Moors. You know who the Moors are, right?
God is a different tribe. So you must know now which nation are you. You know it now by your nose, or by your lip, or by your round face, or by the skin. Like you know you're from the Ashanti tribe because your nose is straight. You understand? And your forehead is flat. You understand? So you're from the Ashanti tribe. When you look spectacle now, you're from that tribe we call it Dundus.
But here me I said though, the Moors, based on my understanding, they were Arabs from Morocco. Right?
No, some of them is Arabs. You understand? But all of them is maroon. Every Arab is a maroon. Every Moors is a maroon. Every Chinese is a maroon.
All right, but
The other person is not a maroon now. Is a reptilian beings. Are one of the creates them. You understand? Are one of the sort them.
So all right. So they are reptilian beings.
Yes,
Is what you're saying.
yeah, otherwise from that now, the man we call white man is a white man. It's called Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountain. So we created them. So they're like our sons and daughters. So they're also maroon, but they're less melanated. Because they're still melanin, but they're less melanated.
Let me ask you a question. The word maroon, who kind did that word?
Now the word maroon now, my lord, comes from a thing we call the earth, maroon color. So if you go to the paint store now, how much you have to tell you, I want a maroon color paint. How much they're going to ask you, which shade do you want? You can Google it right now. If I'm telling a lie, my lord, that's $50,000. And you can
No, me agree. Me agree. He said there is a color called maroon. And the color it,
you are what they call a chocolate color maroon now. Yes, and so your darkish, brownish, reddish color. So you have different options to that maroon. If you look for your handbag, my lad, this is your handbag is a different shade. If you look for your hand, my lad,
which leads to my point. Me that said the maroon, the color maroon comes from the people who were called maroon. True or false?
the color maroon, my lord, comes from the people you call earthlings. From the earthling, my lad.
Who have the maroon color?
Yes, otherwise known as the anarchist, my lad.
No, but watch out now. What me I talk about is who first coined the word maroon? Who first called black people maroon?
No, my lord, man. You're not a black man, my lad.
All right. Let me use a different word because
The reptilians, my lad, took the word maroon out of the books, my lad. Then not the way it was a color. And we come make it was I'm going to go to a paint store. So the reptilians, my lad, who control the Pope, the Pope control the Rothschilds now. The Rothschilds them control the politicians, them and control the entertainers them. So that's how the world works, my lad. So we are the anarchists, my lad, who choose that disrespect yourself, my lad. I will say it's the elders and God, my lad, who fall from grace. So we are the maroon anarchists, my lad. And we're not, don't never call yourself a human being again, my lad. So you are a people. Human beings are primitive. So your color of one skin, my lad, is maroon. Your epidermis is called maroon, my lad, but your dermis is called white.
somebody said, yo, King, listen to him. May I listen to him, you know? But
you are the real king. Listen to the king, man, because you're a young king, you know. That's going to be a father.
May I understand. But here me I say, we in the I.S.U.P.K, we have a set of structured understanding. You know what I mean? And it conflict with where you are saying.
The I.S.U.P.K, my lad, is couple years old, my lad. No, the maroon, the Yankee maroon government, my lad, we're a couple millions of years. So never could have been able knowledge, my lad, to a knowledge of a God. So what I my lad, just listen what I'm saying, my lad. No, the color of your flesh is what the color of your dermis, my lad. What is your dermis? What is your dermis?
I think the dermis have to do with your eyes, right?
No, my lord, that's
No. Okay,
look. The dermis is what they call your flesh.
Okay. Oh yeah, the epidermic, right.
No, your epidermis is your skin, my lord. It's your outer layer.
Okay. Right.
I'm going to show you that we are the real
Okay.
So they take our thing and put on the dear thing. No, have you ever gonna cut or scrape it from your body for your recardium?
Say that again.
Have you ever gonna cut or scrape it for your recardium?
Yeah, I use some biological word where, trust me, I wasn't an expert in biology still, you know. Just break it down like you talk to a regular individual. Because we are regular people over here. When we say regular, we not try to be like, you know what I mean, like we are, you know what I mean? Just break it down, a regular conversation we have, but just break it down in the most simplest form. So everybody can understand.
Yes, all right now.
Yeah, man.
From your band, you ever get a cut yet? You get a cut, right? What is the color of your flesh? Your epidermis. The dermis. What is the color of your flesh?
The dermis, you say, are the flesh under the skin, right? Would I assume, would I said that would I look with like the white meat, or they would I call that?
All right, I don't look like white people now. Once you are an anarchy,
yeah.
you descend of anarchy, your flesh is white. When you go to people, you get white. When you go to people, you get white. So we are also the real white people, official white people are we. People in the land, not human beings.
All right, that's all right. Now we have to go strongly disagree because here I go on now. Me understand what you say, but there's a thing called melanin where the most I give it. You understand?
When the man we call white man get a cut, his flesh is either pink or yellow melon. And when it starts heal back now melon, it become yellow melon or pink or get pussy. When we are healing melon, the outer layer of our epidermis melon become purple. Then after a while the purple disappear melon, then it become back white. And then after white melon, then the brown melanin starts come up melon.
All right, let me share with you my understanding of, you know what I mean, Caucasian people, you know what I mean, what I call it now, mutation. See, in the scriptures, which is the Hebrew records, it talk about Jacob and Esau. See, Jacob came out regular, Esau came out red. He came out with no pigmentation in his flesh. That goes back to the leprosy disease when Moses and was turned white and leprous as snow. It's a skin deficiency based on our understanding. You understand? So the melanin where the Most High bless us with is not something for cover up, something special. You know what I mean? Like white people's skin is not special. See, we are not the real Caucasian like when we see someone put in a chat. You understand? Caucasian come from the Caucasus Mountains, where oppressors come from. You understand? No, in Russia.
Otherwise known as Russia, my lord. So that's why I say Putin, my lord, still have to give us a Putin, them know the truth, my lord. So Putin are the one them and the Caucasian them don't sell out. So that's why I say Russia has never been no time in the slave trade. That's why I say Putin just released the dark skin, El Shaddai them and the dark skin them, Messiah's my lord.
All right, L.A. Lewis, me have to go big you up for your visit to a class today. But me have to go end it right now. Big up again, but definitely I go give you a call because the conversation is now go down till a morning, Bridget. See? But here what me I say. Me I go shout you, we are going to have a discussion. Hopefully, if you're not too, you know what I mean? What the word of me I look? Hopefully you're not too rich. Well, hopefully you're not too rich for we think that we think that we arrange a discussion. Zin, but we have to go do that. LA, we have to go close it out now. All right. Hey, me have like 10 already, so but we are coming with some more. So when we show it you, me see it, man. Me see it.
So I bring crowd to you, my lad. So what I do now, my lad, and I'm putting you on.
We are Israelite, man. We are Hebrew Israelites. We only use the word black so people understand whom we are talking to. And with that, LA, we have to go close out. We don't know if you want to stay for the close out, but we have a close out now. We have to go to the security announcements and we have to close out the class, LA. But big up yourself. We respect the audience where you bring. But we hope you're not too rich for we arrange an official discussion. Because you say, if you do my due diligence, I come with it, man. Believe. See? Well, I mean, I can't promise you that, you know. Because I want people understand what we are saying. We have what we need already, LA, man. Believe. Trust me. All right. So, all right. You want to put my knowledge against your knowledge and see who have the most knowledge? You're willing to put yourself on the line them way there? No, man, we have thick skin over here, so man. Believe, crocodile skin. No reptilian. Yeah, man, he constantly around from we. What about him? No, I don't think I am alone. All right, give me him number too. Give me that too. All right, yeah. Yeah, man. We shall be successful, and they can say, I.S.U.P.K now, Hebrew language. You understand? So you have to know the Hebrew language. We teach the Hebrew language. So that's why we say shalom. Shalom means peace. Is a way of greeting. Yeah, man. All right. All right, shalom, brother. All right, and with that, we're going to jump to the security announcements. All right, everybody remember to follow this page, like, share, depending on the platform you're watching on. See? We're going to read the security announcements. These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of First Fruits coming up. You understand? We just finished the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and the Passover was on April the 12th. You understand? Yeah, man. So we keep the holy days that the Most High ordained the children of Israel to keep. You understand? All right. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on, for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I.M.A.D.U.M. Shabbat, I.M.A.D.U.M. Barak, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Brakathum. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, I.M.A.D.U.M. Shabbat, I.M.A.D.U.M. Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. And with that, class dismissed. All right, so to everybody watching, just follow the page, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform. We definitely are going to shout back that, brother, because we need to have a discussion. You know what I mean? We talk, we do some videos on the Maroons. You know what I mean? We don't know if you're familiar with it. And, you know what I mean? We need to have that discussion. And with that, shalom. Oh, yeah, and before we leave, all right, so we keep classes Sundays, 3 p.m. On this page, also on I.S.U.P.K Jamaica YouTube channel. You can go over there and subscribe. Also, Wednesdays, which is tonight, 7 p.m. Seeing we have a show. We have 2 shows. The Conflict Zone Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. And we have the Breakdown Podcast, seeing 9:30 p.m. Friday night. You also can go over to Commanding General YAHANNA's page, subscribe. Him have a show called the Black Watch on Mondays. Zine, yeah man, Mondays at 8 p.m. where him basically break down black, you know what I mean, news, black people and Hispanics news. Zine, yeah man, everything concerning blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who are the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? So just basically go over to all the I.S.U.P.K pages. I.S.U.P.K, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? All our pages. If you want up to the date, you know what I mean, news about black people and how it affects us and how the Bible relates to this and your true nationality and culture as the children of Israel, please subscribe to the I.S.U.P.K. And with that, shalom.